All right, we're recording. Okay, so I've been introducing you for the last, since we've talked about this and telling the girls, you have to hear her story because I I think I heard your story before we actually hung out at conventions or anything, but listening to you on the convention stage that year, I don't think anybody was not crying from your story, but happy tears for you and everything that you've overcome. You are the epitome of an overcomer and with the voice of an angel to boot. So um, I would just love for you to share with us a little bit about your story and a little bit of your plexus journey, and then a couple tips for us. And then maybe if we have time, you can sing us a little piece of one of the songs that you've written, or we can worship together, anything. Like, I just want to hear your voice. So
Well, you're sweet. I want to put you in my pocket and I want to take you everywhere with me because that is so sweet. I want my kids to hear that introduction.
I'll tell them.
Like, okay,
I'll
let's
tell 'em.
see. They're gonna be like, please don't let her sing. Please. It's too loud. Well, thanks for having me on. First of all, oh my gosh, Kristen, I just love anytime we get to see each other and say hello. And I love plexus people because we're like-minded people, all looking towards health, happiness. How do we get the most out of our lives? How do we live our very best life? So my name's Alita, and I'm just a normal girl who saw a vision and saw a dream and had some crazy life circumstances happen. And so I have a different perspective on life than some people for sure, just because of everything that has gone on. But what I do know for sure is that anybody can do this. And that when you hear my story, I hope what you hear is relatability. I hope that even if it sounds like something you can't fathom or imagine, that you look at just being a mom as hard is still hard, right? There's still things, your hard is allowed to be the hardest. And so I always kind of like to preface it because, people will say like, oh my gosh, you make me cry. Your story makes me cry. And I'm always like, oh gosh, like, it kind of gets, I don't always want to make people cry. So I'm going to jump into it. So 5 years ago, I'm like, yo, what up? I'm killing chickens on the weekend. I'm milking cows. I'm teaching cheese classes. Like, who the freak teaches cheese classes? Me. I'm baking bread and selling it. I'm grinding my own wheat to make bread. I'm sold out to what goes into our body matters. And so I'm just really like all about it. Jen Leith is my upline. She's that fierce redhead, hilarious. She buys a cow from me, okay? And she's like, look, you really need to do plexus with me. And we homeschooled together, and I was like, no, girl, like, that's not for me. It's, I thought it was weight loss stuff. So I said, no, thank you, for 18 months. So my top tip is actually right included here. My top tip is, even when they say no, thank you, even when they're like, it's not for me, keep on sharing when they pop on your heart. Because if Jennifer hadn't kept on, I would have just never joined her. I never would have given it the time of day. So eventually, after 18 months, I'm like, okay, I'll look into it. I find out that I'm like, okay, sold out to these supplements. We start taking them. I start sharing. And my husband was like, girl, you got to do this business. I mean, Jennifer is a diamond. Like, why aren't you? You need to do this. He'd be like, I'll be kept, man. I'll be driving around your Lexus and golfing while you're doing this thing on your phone. And I was like, okay, well then I guess I'll give it a try. So I built a business. I built it up to Senior Ruby, and that's about 6 months into my journey. And my husband unexpectedly passes away. And he, we have 4 kids who were, it was my son, he was 6. 4 days later was Father's Day, and he was turning 7. So we had 4 small babies. Our youngest was 1, still nursing. And they were all home, and we had no life insurance. So I was Senior Ruby and really terrified. I was so scared. My whole world had shifted, and just dealing with my own awful traumatic grief, plus 4 little kids, plus just like trying to figure out all the things that happens when life kind of flips upside down. And in some ways it's kind of like Corona, right? Like, I mean, it's not the same, but there are things that are similar. It's like, you don't know. It's the uncertainty of what is tomorrow going to bring? Like, am I going to find the Zoom link that the teachers have given my kids, or like, am I not? Is it just hidden somewhere in there? Is it broken? Are we going to get on and then get kicked off? Is it going to get counted absent? Like, you just don't know what's happening. That's kind of, you know, on a broader scale, that's where I was at, was just, I can explain it like uncertainty and just the deepest heartbreak. And so I found myself at a crossroads, and I remember waking up this exact moment. It was about a week after he passed away, and I woke up and I just remember exactly what I thought. I was like, Lord, you know, what do I do? What happens to me now? What happens next? And I remember just knowing this is my fork in the road. And maybe you're on this call and it's not by accident, and you're hearing my story and you're thinking, I'm at a crossroads in my life. I just don't know what to do next. I feel stuck in my business. I feel stuck at home. I feel stuck in my circumstances, whatever that is. I remember having to make that decision. I had to make that decision to change that. And so I went down to Lowe's, okay? Brand new single mom, brand new single woman, okay? I go down to Lowe's and I was like, that's it. I'm freaking using a power tool. I'm gonna do this. And I went down and I bought tub tile. So this is kind of what it looks like, actually. I'm gonna show you guys. Okay, here, I'll do it this way. You guys are gonna crack up all my stuff everywhere, but look at this. It's a huge thing of a tub tile that I got. So it's like a dry erase board. And I remember it cost me like $4. It was so cheap. And I came home and I power gunned that thing to my wall. And I was like, I have a choice to make of just, what am I going to put into my mind? What am I going to put in here? Just wrote down everything I wanted to walk this out with. So, and you can put that into plexus, like what kind of leader do I want to be? What kind of person do I want to be? What kind of legacy do I want to leave? And I just remember thinking, I get to choose, like, this is the day that I get to choose. How do I walk this out? I want to walk it out with humility. I want to walk it out with grace. I want to walk it out just humble. And I want to walk it out where my kids at the end of the day can turn around and be like, look what God has done. Look what our mom has just like risen up and done. And so I wrote all of these things down, all my favorite scriptures, all the things. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to read this every day. And I'm going to choose to walk this out. And I'm going to choose to not let my circumstances define me. And I'm not going to let fear win. There are so many people who don't think I can do it. I sure as heck am not going to be one of those. I'm not going to think I can't do it. I'm going to be my cheerleader. And, you know, I remember clearly too at that time, just realizing, you know, and just in the Bible, it's David learned to encourage himself in the Lord. You have to learn to encourage yourself. It was very quickly, I realized nobody was going to come knocking on my door being like, you got this. Come on, girl, let's go. Because everybody was like, well, just leave her be. Like, you know, life is happening and it's crazy. And so I knew I was going to have to cheerlead myself, right? And you can comment in here if this is like feeling anything like what you're like, man, I just have no one cheering me on. I have nobody to like really just like, hey, look, you got this at home, okay? And so I just decided, I was like, I'm going to cheer myself on. I'm going to become my own best cheerleader, and I'm going to put all this stuff up. So I start doing that. My mom, my precious mama, and dad live in Canada. So I'm Canadian living in the South. And so we were going back and forth because my mom had pancreatic cancer. She was diagnosed before my husband passed away. My husband passed away 6 months later. It was the first Christmas without my husband. We were at my parents. I was taking care of mom and dad. My mom had pancreatic cancer and my dad had Alzheimer's. My mom died in January. So she died 6 months after my husband. And then my dad followed 6 months later. So I was 33 years old with an extremely close family, 33 years old, 4 little kids, flying back and forth to Canada by myself, and, you know, burying my parents. So orphaned, widowed, all the things that you don't want to be at 33 years old. And I just found myself in a place of like, what is happening? Like, truly, like, what is happening? And sometimes I cannot explain what exactly all that happened that made it work out the way it did. But what I do know is I learned to be an encourager, and I learned to believe in myself. And I learned that when the going gets tough, that's where I'm going to grow. You don't grow in the mountaintop seasons, you grow in the valleys. And I knew that to get to the mountaintop, I'd have to go through the valley. There was no way around it. You can't go around it. You can't go, over top of it. You have to go through it to get all the way up to the top. And I just knew in my spirit and my heart, I was like, I'm going to have to toughen up. I'm going to have to believe. I'm going to have to just get down, get dirty, get some grit, get some grace, and just not take no for an answer. Excuses became obsolete for me. There was no such thing. It was, I'm showing up because I want to make a difference. And when you want to make a difference, this passion comes in through your veins, and it's like, yeah, I'm not stopping here. I'm letting people know, because I don't know if tomorrow that lady across the street, her husband's going to pass away and they have nothing and she's no life insurance. I went down to the post office today, and there's a sweet lady who works there. She's a single mom with 2 kids, and this coronavirus, she had to take off all of her vacation time to take off to homeschool her kids. She has no money left, and her little boy is being sent home, and he's in 4th grade, and she's so worried about him because he has no longer, because she has Langford. And it's like, there are people out there who really need this. Like, I really needed this. It wasn't just something that was like, oh, I don't want to work, I'd rather do this. It was like, I actually need this. Like, I need this to survive. I need this to build my confidence. The growth that you can learn when you're in a season of hard is uncomparable to any book you will read, to any speaker you will hear teach. And it's always drawing from those experiences and saying, what did I learn? What has this come to teach me? What obstacle is here that I can learn from so I can overcome it and become who I was born to be, who I was created to be, who I was purposed to be, so that we can actually live into that instead of living in the shadows of what our fears tell us that we should be living like, or how we should be doing. Or, hey, don't try too hard because you just might fail. And to me, failure just became a word I never used. I never thought of it. It was just who I am and what I'm going to do. And I'm going to move forward in that. And so I got serious about getting serious. I got serious about becoming successful. I got serious about building my confidence, because the first person I needed to work on to build an incredibly successful business was myself. I needed to, and I still do it every day. I still needed to work on myself. It's looking inward and saying, why do I think I can't? What makes me? Am I not skinny enough, not pretty enough? I don't look like them. I don't talk like them. I'm just me. I'm just from a small town. I don't know very many people. I could have just given a list of things that I didn't know. My husband has died. Like, who, I can't even talk to people right now, let alone go and try and share plexus. But here was the thing, is when I started working on me and removing fear blocks of why I should be successful or why I couldn't do it. And I started looking those in the face, and it's like, well, why can't I? Why shouldn't I? Why not me? Why can't it be me? And my questions shifted. I had that script flipped in my mind, and I wrote it down everywhere I could see it. And I made a decision. I had a decided heart. We have a power hour every morning, and I talk to my team, and we were talking last week about this book we were reading, and there's a chapter in there about a decided heart. And I'm telling you, it just spoke volumes to me. And I was watching Facing the Giants. There's this clip where he puts a blindfold on the boy, and he carries this boy on his back, and he does a death crawl all the way to the end zone, okay? And Brock is his name. He's like, I can't do it. Like, that's just too far. I can't go 30 yards. And the coach is just in his face. He's like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. He's like, it burns. He's like, it's supposed to burn. And he's going, and he's going, and he's going, and he's going. And he's got someone on his back. And I'm telling you, I showed my team this yesterday, and I got so emotional, because here's why. When you're blindfolded, it's like life. It was such an analogy for life to me, because when you're blindfolded, you can't see what's ahead. You can't see what's to the side. You can't see what's behind you, but you're carrying the burdens of your family. You're carrying the burdens of the world on your shoulders. You're carrying the lies and the fears of defeat, of failure, of all the things before you've even started. That's where you're starting from. And you've got this blindfold on and you think, I can't go any further because I don't know where I'm going. And this was what's so amazing to me is this coach came into his life, right? This coach came in and said, oh no, you've got this. You're going to go, you're going to go, you're going to go. And he ends up going way further than he thought he ever could. And that's my Plexus journey. I was the blindfolded football player with someone on my back wondering, how is this going to ever happen for me? I'm a silver ambassador, milking cows, teaching cheese classes, and I don't know, like, I hardly ever post on Facebook, I don't know what to do. And then, fast forward, I find myself trying to build a business still and be happy and cheerleady. And I'm going through major, major grief with 4 little kids at home. Guess what? I pivot, I learn, I move, because I'm not a quitter. Because when the blindfold is on and the things get tough, I know I'm going to come up stronger. And that's the truth. You're born with that resilience in you. Each and every one of you are born with a piece of you that is resilient, that was made brave, that you were made to be brave. You were made to push those limits. And the only limit is in you. It's only in your own mind of what you think you can or cannot do. That is it. So when you are going and you're like, I just can't see what's ahead of me, I say, push stronger, push tougher, get deeper, call the person you've never called before, start thinking outside of the box, stop thinking only about you and focusing on your circumstances, start thinking about the lady across the street who may have to quit her job next week to take care of her parents, or think about the man down the road who might be suddenly single, find himself widowed, like my husband, and needs a job, whatever that is. You don't know people's circumstances. You don't know them. And so remember that your boldness is attached to other people's blessings. Jennifer had no idea what was going to happen to me, 0. But if she wouldn't have kept sharing, I wouldn't be here earning 6 figures and, doing all the things, getting trips, doing fun things, and getting to enjoy seasons of life now in my restoration. And so, fast forward through that, my husband dies. I go Emerald in September. We went Emerald 3 months after he passed away. And that was not just, I would love to say, I woke up and my team had, we were Emerald. Like, it was the best, but it didn't happen that way. It came from me being very vulnerable. I started opening up on Facebook. I started sharing my story, or letting people in. Take people on a journey. People want to know. They want to know you. Invite them in. You're creating a movement. You're creating a movement that says, hey, I've got something for you that's so much more than just supplements and vitamins. I've got stories. I've got encouragement. I've got a team full of people and coaching and support, and you're going to feel better than you've ever felt. And it's not just because of the pink drink. It's also because we're going to infuse you with confidence. We're going to tell you to believe in yourself. We're going to empower you to be better. Create a movement and invite people in. I got vulnerable. I got scared. I got out of my comfort zone in a big way. I started doing lives when I never wanted to do lives before. I started saying, hey, this is just where I'm at, and I want to tell you, this is my journey. This is what I'm learning as I go. People love that. They want to be included in something. They want to be part of a movement. They want that. So I really dug deep and I was like, okay, I want Emerald. I wanted a victory. I wanted to see this happen. And so I got serious about learning how to cast vision. And I thought that's kind of where I would go tonight, if that's okay, is just talk a little bit about how do I cast vision. And so for me, part of casting vision, the first part of that is belief. The first part of casting vision is belief. And it's the belief in yourself. It's the belief in who you are. It's the belief in why not me? Just kind of what I was talking about my story. Why not me? Dreaming big and having belief is so important. Take the limits off. Take the top of the box off and be like, why not me? 5 months ago, you could not have told me that my business from Sapphire would literally triple. You could not tell me that. I would have been like, you're crazy. Or that my second position would be at Emerald. You could not tell me that. I'd be like, you're crazy. That's not going to happen. But I'm telling you, when you put things into place and you really are working hard and you're believing and you're putting in the work, you're going to see the fruit. You just are. So dreaming big, belief. And here's the key part for me for casting vision is I don't keep the belief to myself. I turn around and I say, hey, Lindsay, you know, I see you on here and I want to tell you that I believe in you too. I find somebody to tell that I believe in them every day, whether it's in my kids, whether it's on my team, whether it's somewhere, because I don't want to just keep all this belief in me. I want to start pouring it out on other people. And you do that by picking 2 or 3 things that you really admire about somebody and telling them that. You start telling them, hey, I believe in you. When I first joined Jennifer Leith, I'm on her diamond documentary. I think I'm silver. And because she had just gone diamond, she's like, I want you to be my diamond documentary. I'm like, I wasn't even here when you went diamond. She's like, I don't care. So I'm on her thing and I'm like so emotional, like a Academy actress, like I'm very into it. And I'm like, because I feel like that's what I'm supposed to do. So I'm like, she told me to borrow, what did I say? Oh my gosh. She said, if you don't have enough belief, borrow mine. And I'm so emotional in this video. And like, nothing has happened to me at this point. Like, I'm just a like normal silver person. No one's died yet. I've not become Job. It's like, I'm just a normal person. And I was watching that the other night. I thought that is so crazy because it's so dang true. I didn't believe in myself. I was so nervous. I was so afraid what other people would think. I deleted my gold announcement off my page. I was always just like, I'll share off of Facebook. I'll talk about it later. And one thing that Jennifer did was she cast vision. She kept on it. She didn't just ask me to go silver one time and stop talking to me. She didn't just say one time, hey, do a shout out post for me and, stop talking to me if I didn't do it. She kept coming back and kept coming back and kept coming back and sharing that belief. So part of it is like, people are like, well, I've already asked somebody to go silver. I've already shared with them and they've said, no way. It's like, there's a lot of us who were like, no thanks, no way, so many times before we said yes. So she would come back and she would build belief. So she would say something like, Maria, girl, you've got everything it takes. I can tell by the smile on your face, you light up a room when you enter it. I can tell that just your spirit is so sweet and so precious. And I bet you anything, people feel like they've been seen when they're in your presence. I would love for you to build with me in my business. And I know you've got your products already. Let me help you write a post. It's taking the time to take a big deep breath and be like, I don't want to just ask them to do something. I want to believe them into doing something. I want them to feel the passion from me to them, that they are worthy of this, that they deserve this. Because when I look back, that Alita before, I would intimidate the crap out of her. Okay. If it was like me and it was me back then, if this makes any sense, but if it was me back then, I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so scared. Like, whatever. And it's because I've changed and I've grown so much, but it was because I didn't think I could do it. I didn't think I could do what Jennifer had done. So like, there's no way I was going to be like, oh yeah, like I'll try. So, but we don't know that. So we say things that manifest different. It manifests like, oh yeah, like I'm going to try at some point, but like, I'm kind of busy right now, or it'll manifest in, yeah, I'm not really into that kind of thing. I'm not really into that thing. That's insecurity. I'm afraid that people will say bad things about me. I'm afraid that someone might not like me anymore. I'm afraid that my husband will make fun of me. I'm afraid that my parents will make fun of me. It's insecurity. So stop taking it personally, stop taking it like rejection, and start seeing, I need to pour into this person. I've got value to bring to this person. And so sharing that belief is huge in vision casting. And pushing past the fear of our fear of talking to people. Okay. So many times I remember, having a doctor. Okay. And I'm like sharing Plexus with her. And I'm like, okay, please sign up. Like, please sign up. And I'm just like throwing whatever out and hoping it'll stick. Right. I'm like, it helps like PCOS and it helps like, and I'm just like rambling. I mean, it makes no sense. Okay. And I'm just like trying to sound very doctory and it ends up sounding not doctory at all. And so eventually I'm just like, okay, I've just given up. Like, there's just no hope for me. Like, I'm never signing up a doctor. Well, I go in to get my lab results done, and she's like, girl, after all the trauma and your age and all the things, she's like, you should have something wrong. She's like, I'm literally telling you to lay off the kale because like your blood work is so amazing. She's like, what a testament to your supplements through like major, just, you know, where your cortisol has been spiked for years, you know, it's just crazy. So, you know, she joins Plexus, and then she's like, oh my goodness, this business opportunity. And I'm like, I literally was like, I didn't even think about sharing a business opportunity with her necessarily because I was intimidated by her and her knowledge. And turns out she's like, girl, she's like, I got 5 kids to put through college. Like, I will take any opportunity that comes my way. I'm like, bam. And so what I realized in that moment is don't prejudge people. Don't prejudge where they're at, how much money you think they have. And like, I mean, comment below if you're like the queen of your life. Yeah, they make too much money. They don't need this. I mean, come on. Like, I cannot tell you how many times I'm like, they do not need this. Or, you know, I'd be like, oh, they need this, you know, and I'm deciding who needs it and who doesn't need it. And the truth is, it doesn't matter who we think needs it or don't need it. Everybody deserves to hear about it because their blessing is attached to our boldness. We get to just give it out there and see what happens. And so pushing past that fear of that judgment is so huge. Okay. And then I wrote down here, social media and vulnerability. And I kind of touched on that already, but I want to just a little bit more because I've just noticed, you know, sometimes in an effort to stay consistent, we get sloppy with content. We kind of just start throwing stuff up there and hoping it'll stick. And I think that what I'm challenging you to do is to challenge your limiting belief that tells you you're not a great poster. Challenge that limiting belief that says you have nothing worth value of sharing. Challenge that limited belief that nobody cares about what's going on in your life. People spend freaking hours on Facebook scrolling to just read what's going on in people's lives. They love it. So I think really deciding and making a decision, okay, I'm going to be a little more vulnerable on social media. I'm going to really welcome people in to my journey. I'm going to let people in to my Plexus journey. I'm going to invite them along on what I'm learning. I'm going to invite them along on the personal growth that I'm learning, the confidence boost I'm getting, letting people know the lifestyle you're living. Plexus isn't just supplements. It's a lifestyle. It is just an incredible community of people. So many people join for the community. And so social media is hard. It's only as hard as we believe it is. So that's what I'm saying is challenge that limiting belief that says, this is too much for me. I can't do it. I don't know what to do. I'm scared. It's okay to be scared, but it's not okay to stay there. Okay. So like really deciding I'm going to push through this fear. I'm not going to let this be an obstacle, because what if like I always say this to me, would the Alita in 5 years look back and be like, why didn't you just do that? Because that's what the Alita now thinks of the Alita 5 years ago. Like, why didn't you just post? Why didn't you just start sharing? Why didn't you just start doing these things? And if you guys can go back and watch my videos of how to go silver, I'm literally holding a baby, nursing while milking a cow. Like you can hear the cows in the background. And I'm like, okay, everybody, you just go silver. And I have the countryest accent and I'm from Canada. It like made no sense. I was so scared. I was like, I sounded like it was so weird. I don't know why I did that. But it was like, I mean, all my team was like, and like all my team, the 2 people, like my 2 friends on my team, they were like, why are you doing this? And I was like, because like, I just feel like this is my next right step. And I just started doing things, and it didn't matter if people liked it or didn't like it or whatever. It was like just something I was willing to get out and try and do. So it wasn't necessarily social media for me right away, but it was making videos. And it was like, okay, I'm going to start training my team with a country accent. And that's just what I'm going to do. And when they come to meet me in person, they're going to be like, why don't you have a country accent? I'm like, I don't know. It's just something I do. But I went with it. You can't say the wrong thing to the right people. You can't, you know, I would convince people to not take Plexus. Okay. Like I was that person. I'd be like, hey, you should totally do Plexus. Like you're going to do it with me. Like, let's do it. They're like, okay. And I'm like, you know, are you sure you want to do Plexus? Are you sure? Like, I don't know if you should. You know, and I get like so nervous and say the craziest things. So Anybody can do it. I promise you that. My first online party, and then this will be my last thing, I'll get off here, but the first online party I ever did, Jennifer Leith did it with me, and she'd never done one either. Okay. You want to talk about a hot mess, is Jennifer Leith and me doing a online party with absolutely no experience. Okay. And I'm like, I have zero experience.
I would probably pay to see that show, honestly. Like, that would be the best.
I'm going to find some videos of it because it honestly was hilarious. It was hilarious. And I just think if people signed up after that, then like, I can do this. I can do this. How do you eat an elephant? Which is kind of a gross analogy, but whatever. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You build your business one person at a time. You build your business by casting vision one person at a time. Nobody gets missed. Nobody gets shorted on hearing about the vision of the business. Nobody. Everybody deserves to hear it. And I will shout it from the rooftops. And you can always use me as like the scapegoat. You'd be like, listen, I wasn't going to say anything to you, but there's this girl, she's my friend, her name's Alita, and she started Plexus, and then her husband died, and then she's a single mom, then her parents died. It was like this crazy story. And, you know, she always just tells us, like, let everybody know, because you just never know who wants this business. So share it with everybody. Maria, I love your spirit and your heart. You're like, I just feel like you're like really like responsive and talking to me over here. So I'm really thankful because I'm on my phone, so I only see. Christy, Vicky, oh, I love this.
Christy also asked if you can talk just quickly about your power hours that you mentioned that you do every morning.
Yeah. Okay. So this will be encouraging too. So in February, I had a really sweet friend, a leader on my team, and she ranked Emerald 2 years ago and then dropped rank. And she was like, let's just do power hour. She had a lot of stuff going on. Her husband's lost his job through Corona. It's been crazy. And so she's like, let's do a power hour together, like you and me. And I said, well, yes, let's do that 5 days a week, and I'll open it up to the team. So we're doing it, and like maybe 3 people are coming. Okay. So like 3 people are coming to our power. And I'm like, okay, like it's all right, because it was at 9:30 in the morning. So I really just thought everyone, like, no one's gonna come. It's 9:30 in the morning. It's no big deal. So we keep going, and we had Cheryl and Angela there too, and you guys would love them. They're amazing people. So we were just sharing on Power Hour, and we kept going, and we kept going, and we kept going, and we would listen to an abundance thing together and just really get our mindset. It was all just mindset. We really didn't even do IPA. We just did mindset stuff together. And then all of a sudden in April, people started coming, and it was like the Field of Dreams, which I used to think was scripture, which was build it and they will come. Just sounded very no art to me. One time I said it was scripture, but it's not. Anyway, it was Kevin Costner. So anyway, I was like, build it and they will come. And so I really just started telling my team, I was like, build it and they will come. Like, we're just going to keep doing this, and we're going to see what happens. So they start coming. May just explodes. Every single person that was on our Zoom ranked up. She re-ranked Emerald. It was like crazy. I went Diamond, re-entry all in the same dega month. Then the next month, you know, I had a girl go from Emerald to Diamond in that month. And I think we've had 8 Emeralds come out of that group. We've had, 3 or 4 Sapphires, and it's been crazy. So we do it Monday through Friday. And again, I had 3 people showing up when I first started them, Monday through Friday. And now we have an average of probably between 60 and 70 people on every single morning. And so Monday through Friday, I do 9:30 to 10. I had to stare my fear of commitment down. I was like, I got my eye on you. I know I don't like commitment of time, but it has been a huge game changer for me. So we just have different people share. And we do we do 10 minutes of visualization every day, which adds up to 50 minutes of visualization, which equals just about 7 hours of work. And so we've been doing that. And we just share about mindset. We just kind of get together, and I want a community, especially just with coronavirus. And it's been awesome. And we love it. It's worked really well for us.
I love that. I've always told myself this business is, I used to say 95% mindset, 5% what you do, but I really think it's like 98% mindset, 2%. Like,
Yes.
I mean, we are our own worst critics, and that's what I see so many people quit, is because of the lies that they tell themselves. Like, I'm not a good poster, I can't do social media, I don't have enough friends, and that's all on us, like you said. And that's why I love your story so much, is because, I mean, we all say, when we get to this point, like, if I can do it, you can do it. Like, I'm giving my team wrong dates and times, and I get the time zones mixed up. I'm like, if I can do this, you can do this.
Yes.
It's not, we're not like, you know, I mean, we're special
Yes.
in God's eyes, but we're not special.
Uh-huh.
So
when I first got my Lexus, I was driving with the windows down listening to Garth Brooks, and granola bar wrappers were like flying everywhere because I had told my kids, I was like, we're not eating this car ever. And then, of course, like 5 minutes down the road, I was like, fine, you can have a granola bar. Literally, granola bar wrappers are flying around. I'm listening to Garth Brooks. Like, I feel so cool in my Lexus. I get to the gym. I go into the gym and I come out, and it's like a key fob or whatever, which I never had, like where it just remote starts. Y'all, I think someone has stolen my purse because, like, I can't start the car. I'm like, so my purse must be gone. The key's not here. My purse must be gone. I call the police. The police come out. They have now, created a thing. I was giving him a sob story. I'm like, I feel so bad for this person. He's stolen from a widow. Like, he stole my purse, a widow's purse. Like, this, I feel so bad for him. Like, something really bad's going to happen to him. So, like, I'm just going on, and this police officer's so sweet. He's like, it's okay. Lisa, my friend, comes and gets me and the kids. And I'm like, I can't believe that my purse has been stolen from the gym. Like, this is so awful. I'm just going on. She's so mad. She's like, I can't believe someone would do this. And we pull into my driveway, and my purse is sitting in the driveway. Like, I had not made it into the car. So the car started and drove a block up to the gym, but wouldn't start to come back. And I was just like, literally, if I can do this, any person can. Okay. I called the police. I had this huge thing going on because I thought someone had stolen the keys to my car and my purse. Anyway, that's what I got, girl.
I love you so much. I know we're a little bit over, but I seriously I just want to hear you sing for just do a part of the song from Convention.
Okay, which one?
You pick.
Let me see here. Okay, I'm gonna move y'all. So hang with me here. Let's see.
Hanging.
Okay, I'll take you over to my piano.
Yay!
This is hilarious.
Sorry.
Okay, can you guys see? I don't know why my piano wasn't turning on. 1 second. Please hold.
Worth the wait.
You're so sweet. I don't know why this. Hang on 1 second. I wasn't completely planning.
I know.
On this, which is no big deal. I know how to go with the flow. Let me see here. Yes, I got it. All by myself. Yeah. Okay, so let me think. What song? What are you thinking? Do you have any? Did you Rise Up?
Yeah.
Okay. And let's see. Don't look at any of my laundry and judge it.
Kate was requesting Leaving a Legacy, but we want whatever you're
Leaving a Legacy? Okay, let me think here for a second. Okay, you give me 1 second here. Okay, Leave a Legacy. Let me think about this for just a second.
Or do Rise Up, whatever is easiest for you.
Whatever is easiest. Okay, Leave a Legacy will come to me in a minute. It's been a hot minute since I've.
That's fine.
I know a story of a man who got knocked down, but he turned it around. And I know a story of a woman who never gave up. I know a story of a boy who didn't get to eat much through the week. And I know a story of a girl who didn't get to shame, covered in shame. They saw her vision for change, the excuses away. Did it anyway. So rise up and run, rise up like the sun, rise up and see you were made for more. Rise above the pain, rise again and again and again. You were made for more. 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 You were made for more, for more, for more, for more. So rise up.
You are so awesome. Oh
You're
my
so
gosh.
sweet. Thank you for hanging with me.
So for our power hours, we're just gonna put an Alita record on, and
Oh my
that's
gosh.
gonna be our power hour. And we're just gonna listen.
Oh, sweet.
I have legit tears every time I hear your voice.
I can do leave a legacy real fast if you want.
Okay, I'm not stopping you.
Okay, and don't feel like anyone needs to stay. I know I don't want to waste time here. I want something to pass down to the generations to come. I want to know when we get older, we did the best we could. I want to know that we put heart in everything we did, and they can tell we were believers in something bigger than ourselves. 'Cause we wanna leave a legacy. There's a good book coming to us. I can see the difference in us. It's a legacy. It's a legacy. Oh. You can see world changers. We are different makers. We are leaders. A legacy. We won't leave. Legacy. Legacy. I'll just play a little bit so it's
Oh, good. Oh my gosh.
well, thanks for letting me jam out with you guys for a minute. Sorry, I was kind of rusty over here just pop over, but
Girl. If that's rusty, man.
you're sweet.
Church.
Thank you guys for having me on and hanging out. I appreciate it.
We love you.
So
Thank you,
much.
Alita.
Thank
Have
you
a
so
great
much,
night.
Kristen. Bye, guys.
Bye.